Oh, yeah.
Where do you think this is taking us to?
Yes.
Looking at the results in the aftermath of the announcements as a whole, where is this taking us to?
I think we have to acknowledge what has taken place with when the announcement takes place. Of course, there is the congratulatory message affirming what is to take place. In Nigeria, for the first time, we are having what you call party alternation at the center. And party alternation can only take place when there's the strengthening of opposition. And what it means in essence is that the ruling party will go into opposition. And that means that we are going to have a very strong opposition. This means well for democracy. We are transiting from political liberalization in our democratization process to entrenchment and consolidation of democratic practice. Because by the time you have party alternation, and you're going to have it in several places, when we go to April 11, you will see that it's not necessarily going to be a bandwagon effect. It may not be. Because people now know that, look, if we vote, we can bring about the effect of consequences we want.
Is the outcome of these elections, is it likely going to also rub off on the governorship elections?
In some states, yes. In some states, no. Because in some states, they will assess, like in this instance, they assess the personalities involved against the background of the party program. And people came to a conclusion, okay, we want change, we want to try something new. In a state where an APC governor is there, and there are other alternatives that people can look at, it may decide, okay, let's try something new. So one shouldn't take it for granted that because you have had a presidential poll that favors APC, coming up in the election, will translate into the same victory to the number of states. We saw that in 2011,
and besides
where some states voted for, PDP, and at the election, they voted APC.
And besides, I mean, this election is just, as we said previously, just shares the entire history about how Nigerians have ever voted for presidential elections.
Yes. Yeah.
And so who knows? So the governorship, you may just see the same things. Yeah. So it's quite interesting.
So did it really tear history? Because I think when you talk about history, you're talking about
the way
at this
Nigerians
season,
have been voting.
Two parties came together to create a bigger party. You must understand that even those parties expected that their entrenchment where they were, they wanted to keep it, but it was a difficult ball game, whether we like it or not. In analyzing these kind of things, we must understand to the Nigeria public, whether individual, as you go into politics, you must not neglect the issues of coalitions, the issues of coming together, the issue of the people. Because if you look at the demographics, it didn't change. It's just that two parties came together and put together where their strengths were and dealt with the other one who probably took the granted that this party will not make it happen. And therefore, everyone must understand that politics is not like as usual anymore in Nigeria. No. And therefore, you must do better. Because in the days to come, it will be performance rather than your party. And Nigerians are watching and they want the best. If there's such a demand in this season, shows that the level of information that Nigeria has begun to get is creating a demand for good governance. And therefore, like he said, APC may appear somewhere in PDP, PDP will appear somewhere in APC. The expectations now we can't hold forth. But the demand is shown that Nigeria are demanding for a forward movement of the nation, and the demand that people have to play better.
So for you, it's a dynamics of how Nigeria is now aligning. Is this aligning to best practices? Is this aligning to global practices? Is this Nigeria's alignment, alignment to tradition or to religion?
For me, no. The issues of this election, what bothered me, like he says, when I look at this demographic of this nation, I know that those of us in a lot of different institutions, we still have a lot of healing work and bringing back a nation together. Because when an election goes this way, where the clarities of entrenchments are
those sharp
divisions and such competition and narrowing shows that we need to heal. And therefore, healers are required. Men and women with the dynamics and understanding of nation building has to come in place. Because this is, for me, it's not a celebration. Because the win is too close. Both of them made the 25% in the 26 seats. So the issue now is that healing should be in the back mind of every politician, even as we go into the governorship election. It is not big boys as usual. It is the nation that is placing a demand on her politicians and leaders that we want better, and you must do it, because that is the demand of the season.
We'll pick it up from there when we return in just a moment. Join us again. All right, welcome back to our continuing coverage of the elections Nigeria 2015. But while we thank you, our numerous viewers, for all the selfies that you've sent in from around the world, actually, well, we encourage you to keep them coming. We also want to thank you and ask you to continue sending all of those, including when the final announcement comes through from the Independent National Electoral Commission. Well, yes, keep them coming, including the videos as well. We can accommodate the videos of up to, say, between 10 to 15 seconds and keep the language civil. I know lots of excitement in the air, so perhaps that could help out. So at the end of the day, we'll just collate all of them and then just bring to you a short film documentary for you to see how you participated in history. Well, don't forget that we're waiting till 8. That's the time that INEC said they will reconvene and take the final results. Yes, permutations have already been done. Congratulatory messages also making the rounds, and people are already on the streets in celebration of the anticipated announcement. So we're still back here in the studios, Gimba.
Interesting indeed. Those pictures we're talking about, we've seen some of them already running just when we are off. That's when you cannot see us, but when we're still seated here, though. Very interesting pictures. I saw the one with a guy just lying down on his bed with an iPad just over his chest, and he's watching channels television. It's been watched in Russia. It's been watched in the UK. It's been watched in the US. It's been watched in Asia, in China, in Japan. Just across the board. It's an exciting moment for us here in Channels Television. That's why we continue to encourage you to always keep a tab on this station, and we'll keep you informed rather, on all that is happening concerning the Nigeria 2015 elections here on this platform. So you can also still send in those videos, as Shabalin said, just to keep it civil. And we're looking at 10 to 15 seconds. Can we have a little more than that? No.
Well, yes, they can, but we'll have to edit it to suit what can be broadcast on the air. So, in the meantime, we're talking about Nigerians actually owning the process, such that when they get out there, vote, they know that their vote will count. But then, should we also, or wouldn't it be a risk if we ignore the fact that, in spite of what has happened, the way it has panned out, you still will have politicians out there who will say, well, yes, April 11, I will still go ahead and try and throw my weight around. After all, the announcement that if the card doesn't work, you could use manual accreditation. So they may just bank on that and see what they can achieve. You think that will be beyond them?
Well, that may not be beyond them, but the question is, who is in control?
Exactly.
It's not them. The election management body is INEC. And I believe the INEC also will anticipate the antics of the Nigerian politician and be able to fine-tune the process and see the areas that we have all been talking about as the weaknesses in the system. The card reader, the INEC must really be able to address the problem of the card reader. If we had the card reader all through, a lot of the complaints have suffered. So we still have to go back to improving the performance of the card reader, considering the amount of investment that has gone into it. The security agencies also, they will have seen the weaknesses, the flaws. Sometimes they are overzealous, and their overzealousness, tends to, present them as being partisan. And in some instances, one bad egg may make the whole basket to look rotten. And we have some rotten eggs that may compromise the ethics and standards of their profession. But that is not to say that the whole system has become so weak that some political elements who are, desperate to get into office will get there. The vote of the people will still count. And come April 11, we still expect Nigerians to file out and make the choice of the person they want to occupy all the offices that are available for, contest. So, irrespective of the schemings and the plans of the politicians, not only INEC, but Nigerians are ready to checkmate them. And you know, having had some form of experience with this one and the outcome, I think people will be more excited to go out that really my vote can count. Because if you ignore those aberrations that we had in those places with no margin of error, no cancellation, and landslide and all that, the real areas where they had the effective election, you will see the margin. The Edo State, I was surprised. But I was not also surprised because you have one of the strong men of PDP from Edo State, and you have the chairman of, APC. You know, so it was a battle royale. So and it was very close. The outcome disclosed the combatants, the capacity and the strength of the combatants, and those are the things that will augur well for our democracy. They shouldn't be seen as a do-or-die affair. And like we keep on emphasizing, if the election management body does its work, these things will be eliminated. And we must congratulate INEC so far, but INEC should do better in the other subsequent elections.